CQ. CQ, the Old Friends Net. Time for the Sunday edition of the Old Friends Get Together. This is W4MEC. Net control for today. The Old Friends Net meets 3 times a week. Sunday, right now, 4 p.m., 30 frequencies, 3715, give or take. And Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m., same frequency. Old Friends Net is carried out in the amplitude modulation mode only. And while we do encourage the use of restoration and use of vintage gear, anybody that can generate an AM signal is welcome to participate. And it's also carried out in the old-fashioned round table mode. I'll take check-ins, and at the end of each round, I'll check for more check-ins, and we'll continue on from there. And this is a great place to swap gear or find some parts you need or a bit of information. So for those wishing to join us today in the net, please give W4MEC a call. Come now.
N4LQ.
November Echo.
WB4ARK.
WSW.
WB4NKL.
WA4EVK.
Everybody must be out Christmas shopping. So far, I'm not sure if I had a double there, but the first loud station I heard was N4LQ Steve, K8NEE Dennis, Buddy WB4ARK, Mirror WF2U, Cliff WB4NKL, and Boone WA4EVK. Who did I miss?
It's November 4 Alpha Kilo N4AK checking in.
Got Glenn, anybody else? Okay, we'll start with this, the 8 of us, and see if we get some stragglers here before it's all over. So one last time, here's our order. LQ, NEE, ARK, F2U, NKL, EVK, and AK. So, good afternoon, fellas. It's about 60 degrees here, and anywhere from clear to partly cloudy. Nice day outside. I finished putting up the Christmas lights without freezing to death, and got that done. We had a pretty good turnout for lunch with 16 of us Thursday, and had a good time, and a little mini ham fest in the parking lot again. Let's get started with N4LQ, W4MEC.
All right, W4MEC in the group, N4LQ. Running the Night T150 and driving the AL811H with 572Bs in it. About 200 watts carrier and the HQ110A receiver and the horizontal loop antenna. And boy, what an afternoon. I was remodeling the TR switch that I use here that I built. Boone had given me an insulated RCA jack to put on it that he had bought somewhere. And boy, it's a beautiful gold-plated thing. And I needed that because I'm switching the mute on the HQ110, which is just 2 wires, but it's got an AC jack on the back for muting, and it's got DC voltage on both sides of that thing, so I had to insulate the RCA from the chassis. Well, that went fairly well, and got everything back together, and hooked up the T150 and smelled smoke. And I never did figure out where the smoke came from, but And I ended up with the T150 out of its chassis, checking tubes, running around here like a chicken with its head cut off. I was determined to get the T150 on the air. And then, a long story short, I finally found that the El Cheapo quarter-inch stereo jack that I used for the microphone had kind of rotated and shorted out on something and partially activating the push-to-talk. I don't know, but anyway, I got it all straightened out. So, I want to thank Boone for the jack, and also thank him for supplying Bob N4QR with that HW8. And Bob, he's worked all over the country with that thing, having a blast at 1.5 watt CW. So over you go to K8NEE, Dennis, to take it, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group from Kilo 8, November, Echo, Echo. Well, I wonder how I sound. This is my first time on AM. Should be running about 200 watts as near as I can tell. We're on the Wyndham. Thought I'd try that rather than the loop. As I said earlier, I believe it's my first time on AM, so I'm wondering how I sound. Steve, I want to tell you, you sound absolutely beautiful. I was here through most of the check-ins, but your signal was the crispest and clearest that I heard. Charlie, you're a little fuzzy, brother. I hate to tell you that. I did hear Cliff in there, and I believe the person after me is ARK, but I do not have the first part of the call. So with that, over to ARK from Kilowatt 8, November, Echo, Echo.
K8. K8NEE. WB4ARK. Lake Wiley, South Carolina, just south of Charlotte. Well, today is a bright, crisp day. It wasn't too cold today, but it was chilly. And no rain. So we're still in a deficit with the rain situation. And but it is warming up. Temperature is definitely going up slightly, and so there you have it. We're on the ART-13 R390A horizontal dipole up about 50 feet. So over to WF2U, WB4ARK.
Roger, buddy. WB4ARK. And the group, this is WF2U. Good afternoon, everybody. It's cloudy here and 62 degrees. It was pretty pleasant while the sun was out. It was a nice day. Looking forward to the rain. Not that, well, we need the rain, I guess. And running the Yaesu station, the FR101 receiver, FL101 transmitter, and the FL2100B amplifier, which puts out just about 300 watts carrier. And the antenna is an end-fed half-wave 480 meters, about 40-45 feet high. Okay, so the signals are not that great. I guess the bend is not fully open yet, but everybody's Q5. Charlie over S9, Steve 5 dB over S9, K8NE was S7, Buddy 5 over 9, and then we'll see how everybody else is doing. So WB4NKL, this is WF2U.
Okay, Mayor, WF2U is WB4NKL. on the ART-13 again. It's got pretty nice here today, close to 60, I think 59 I seen, and got out and got a walk in without having to bundle up so heavy. I've been walking every day, but it hadn't been too pleasant. It's been kind of on the cool side. Dennis, you're sounding good. Welcome to AM, and the audio's good on the rig. Like Mary got about a S7 here, I guess, on the carrier, but good sounding audio. Good deal on the getting the T150 on there, Steve. I've run into some of those cheap 3-circuit jacks. I ended up throwing a bunch of them away and just ordered more and got Switchcraft. You're always pretty safe if you stay with that brand. They seem to be pretty good quality. Where I ran into the problem was the cheap jacks. They were pretty flimsy, not making good connection. I'll send it on around. Glad everybody had a good time at the luncheon. I went to the breakfast, railroad retiree breakfast. Had a good time there. So glad everybody had a good time at the luncheon. I'll send it on around. Go ahead, Boone. WA4EVK, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL in the group, WA4EVK. A good deal. Yeah, Cliff, that was pretty enjoyable luncheon. A lot of tall tales got told, a lot of circuitry stuff got examined, and wow, those hamfests in the parking lot are getting pretty good. They're rivaling some of the smaller ones around. Steve, I'm glad that RCA jack did what you wanted. That I ran across those on Amazon. I don't know whether they're still selling them or not, but I ran across them on Amazon a couple years ago when I built my first push-to-talk box, because I had the same problem you did. I needed to isolate a muting. See, because the darn thing, it was a Hallicraft. Was it a Hallicraft? Anyway, it was high voltage, and it just wasn't set up for the usual ground on the ground side of the RCA jack, long story short. And Bob, N4QR, I'm glad he's using that, enjoying that HW8. I built that thing about 1979 or 80 to take to offshore rigs, and it didn't work out too well for a reason I didn't even think about. I took it on, I think, 2 or 3 trips. When I would sign Maritime Mobile or Maritime Portable, I just get covered up. So I really couldn't I mean, that's not anything to really grouse about, but there were some ill-behaved people in those pile-ups. I just quit trying it. And Bob is the most active lower power CW operator I know of. Steve will tell you he likes to build pine board transmitters and use them, and I thought he might get some use out of it. Well, good deal. I'm going to quit tying it up and send it on over to my neighbor Glenn. N4AK to take it, WA4EVK. Good evening, Glenn.
Okay, Boone. WA4EVK in the group. This is November 4 Alpha Kilo. I'm in the attic shack today, so I'm on a FTDX10 and SB200 at about 115 watts to a very low inverted V antenna. So I was having a problem copying Dennis, but just may be the orientation of my antenna. And Dennis, we have worked before. Handle here is Glenn, Golf, Lima, Echo, November. We're in Sunset, South Carolina, kind of outside of Pickens. And I'm looking at your QTH on QRZ, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful picture and a beautiful location there. I can see that you have probably you may be off the grid with all the solar cells you have on the house there, and you might tell us about that a little bit. So, Charlie, back up to you. W4MEC N4AK.
Very good, Glenn. N4AK and the old friends, W4MEC. Do we have any others that would like to join us? Come now.
WA4FJQ.
Okay, got Tom. Anybody else? Okay, Tom, you're after Glenn the next time. WA4FJQ, go ahead and make a transmission, and you're so loud here I can hear the grass growing in your front yard. W4MEC.
Okay, W4MEC, this is WA4FJQ. I think you sent it over to me. I'm not sure. I'm late getting on the net. I couldn't figure out why my SWR was through the roof. Couldn't get it tuned out. About to quit. And I happened to notice the button on the Tintec tuner was set on forward and not reverse. So after I fixed that, then at least I've got a signal going out. So at any rate, since I'm out of the loop here, I'm going to turn it back. I'm not even sure who's calling the net since I just got things going here. So whoever's net control, take it from me. WA4FJQ.
Yeah, that would be me, W4MEC. Real good. Any further check-ins? Come now. Okay, nothing heard. W4MEC and the old friends net. Real good, fellas. Yeah, you're very loud here, Tom. Let's see. Dennis was a Q5 copy, but about the weakest of the group here today. But no problem copying. What else we got here? I was sitting here testing if you remember when they came out with digital TV, if you had satellite or maybe cable, they sent you a box, an AB switch box, and 75 ohm connector, F connectors on the back, females. And I've been using mine to switch receivers. I bought a bunch of F connector to B and C and screwed them on there. And it's been giving me a problem here. I was just now putting a meter on it. And if you barely push on the lever that switches it from A side to B side, it all of a sudden opens up. And you really got to slam it to the side there to get a zero. So apparently, and there's absolutely no way to open it up to clean it. So it's all glued together. It's got a metal mechanism in there. It's got a plastic case around a metal box, but maybe if you broke the plastic off, there'd be some screws or something. But I think I'll come up with something else. It worked for quite a while, but now it's gotten intermittent. So let's see. My wife and I were talking about. We went and got some gas yesterday and coming back from our favorite restaurant, and she wanted me to clean the windshield, and of course there was a giant block of ice in the little thing there was holding a squeegee, and just nothing but water, but I was able to clean it good enough without any streaks with that. But we got to talking about squeegee. And she actually looked it up just to see out of curiosity. Squeegee has been around since like 1780. And it comes from a different word, but it was used for drying the decks of ships and things like that. But actually, back in the 1780s or whatever, that was called the squeegee. So, and the operation was to squeege. So anyway, so the weird things that you look up sometimes when you wonder where they came from, the original use for the things. But anyway, and of course the one at the gas station had like 5 cuts in it, and it was frozen, and it wouldn't really do a good job. And I got it clean enough, and and we went on home with it. But anyway, so if you want some interesting history, look up a squeegee. So N4LQ in the group, W4MEC.
All right, Charlie. W4MEC and 4LQ. I looked up something the other day like that. And oh, cottage cheese. I couldn't figure out why they call it cottage cheese, and apparently that derived from they used to make it in cottages. Boy, that was really deep. Anyway, well, the luncheon really went good last Thursday, and I think I offended everybody at the table I was sitting at, because I came back with a big pile of Brussels sprouts and chocolate cake, and I was told that you can't have those on the same plate. So, well, it didn't have the ice cream on there anyway, but the Brussels sprouts are kind of spotty. You know, sometimes you get good ones, sometimes bad. But these were just super duper. And also I had a little bit of few chicken livers. I already had my big serving of chicken livers, and they were extra good and had a nice crispy, crunchy outer skin. I don't think you can make chicken livers any better than the Spartanburg Golden Corral. And they're different. Different corrals are different. Let's see. K8NE Dennis, you're sounding good. Glad you got on AM there, and you're coming in just fine down here in Shelby. And Dennis has checked in with us on 160 for quite some time now, so that's always good to have another person here with us. And Cliff, your ART13 sounds stellar. And Boone, yeah, on the N4QR and his little low power rigs, he likes to build like 1-tube oscillators on a board or a chassis or something. I guess years ago he built some of those things, and that's what he uses. He's now using a Drake 2B receiver that he got, I think, last year. Prior to that, he used a Radio Shack, what was that, the DX 150 or something like that, little transistorized receiver. And he just likes to keep it simple, I guess. That's what he usually used. So that HW7 or HW8, he may decide that's too sophisticated. I don't know. Anyway, Glenn, sounding good on the FTDX10. Glad you got it on the air. So, and I'm glad I got this T150 back on. I was using the AF68, but I had to use an attenuator on it for the amplifier, and this thing comes out just perfect for the amplifier. No attenuator needed. With that, on over to Dennis, K8NEE, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, Kilo 8, November, Echo, Echo. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Steve. A couple of things that need to be said right out of the gate here, and that is that finding out that you carried a plate with Brussels sprouts and chocolate cake on the same plate back to the table, that's kind of like a crime against humanity. If that keeps happening, these guys might not let you come back to that group. So just kind of watch out for that. I'm on the 746 Pro right now, pushing it with a 1500. I did a little experiment, and everybody seems to sound a little better and a little crisper on the loop. So after this transmission, I'm going to move off a distance and see how we sound. Okay, here we are. I'm back on the. I don't know if could you guys hear me?
You're stronger on the other one.
Copy you on the last
because my SWR was astronomical. I didn't realize I was listening on the loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back. I'm going to move off and retune and get back on the loop the next go round. But Boone, you're sounding good. N4LQ and Boone, you guys sound the best. Bob, I have worked you, and you sounded pretty good up here. Charlie, I'd like to know what your favorite restaurant is the next go round. And you are the master of trivia, my friend. I got a kick out of the old friends email there where you had you had written something in Klingon. I thought that was pretty good. Also wonder what you thought of the apple cake, Roger. Mir, when I talk to you next, I want a report on those knees, buddy. Let me know how you're doing. So I'm going to turn it back to WB4ARK from Kilo 8 November Echo Echo, and I'll be moving off and be back in a bit.
K8NEE WB4ARK. Well, your signal is stronger on the antenna that you're on now. For me, I mean it's definitely stronger. You're coming in to the Lake Wylie area with a very strong signal. So, well, it's been a nice day. It's been partly cloudy. There's a few clouds off to the west, and but the sun has been out off and on, and pretty much on, and so that's one reason why I think it's gotten warmer today. So we're still working on the KWM2A. We're just about finished with that now. We found the problem. We got that taken care of, so we're moving right along. We've got to replace a diode, a Varrector diode, in the receiver section, and so we get that done, and we'll probably just be doing a little bit of alignments, and we'll be finished with it. So my signal has not drifted, or the oscillator has not drifted on this ART13. It's 2715.244 is hanging in there at that point, and I'm not exactly sure why. It's seems like it's stabilized a little bit, but your unit sounds very good, Cliff, coming in quite strong, and so that's about it here. So over to Mir, WF2U, WB4ARK.
Yeah, Roger, WB4ARK, and this is WF2U. Yeah, everybody's coming in pretty nicely, although the signal strengths, as read on the meter, are not up to what they are when conditions are really good. But the noise is pretty low, so I have no problems copying anybody. And nothing new here radio-wise. Been catching up with all kinds of stuff that I couldn't do earlier, like a few weeks ago while I was still being rehabbed and PT'd, although I'm still doing PT to get the full range of motion, but now I'm able to do a lot of things, and it's a mess around the house, not having been proactive with preventing or getting rid of a mess. We still have some stuff left over from Helene, so it's getting pretty busy, and of course we can't do much outside when it's raining, but so maybe I'll try to do some radio work, and I won't feel guilty that I'm not neglecting the property of the house. Especially if the X-File is not going to give me those funny looks. Well, anyway, So with that, Cliff, it's your turn. WB4NKL and the group, WF to you.
Yeah, WF2U. It's WB4NKL. Okay, Mayor. I think you've done excellent with your knee replacement compared to some of the other people I've talked to. So I think you've done exceptionally well with that. So glad you got that behind you. And Dennis, if you're back on the antenna, the loop was quite a bit stronger here. You were like S7 on the other antenna, and the loop you were about 10 over S9, so quite a bit of difference here for some reason, even though you said you were seeing a higher standing wave. Let's see, 100% copy. All of the bands, I guess, down a little bit, but 100% copy. Everybody's, good enough signal to copy without any problems. And let's see, I guess that's about all I had. Send it on around again. Go ahead, Boone. WA4EVK, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL in the group, WA4EVK. Good, fine business there, Cliff. I don't have much else this afternoon. I'm Glenn, that last go around though, you were low signal strength here, which is not unusual. There's something about the path between here and there. I think you're just too close with the hills in between. I can't explain it, but that's the way it works a lot of times. I'm going to go ahead and sign, guys. I've got quite a bit going on around here this afternoon with family, so I wanted to get in here and talk to everybody, but I need to get out. So I will say 73s and turn it over to Glenn. N4AK, WA4EVK.
WA4EVK. This is November 4 Alpha. When Dennis was on, when he first came on this last go around, he was about his changed antennas, and he just dropped out here, so I guess it's just propagation, whatever. But I'm probably running about 100, 110 watts, not very much power. But I've had this FT DX10, almost a year, and I hadn't operated it that much, so I came back up here today, and thankfully I've got a book. There's a guy, ZL3DW, Andrew Barron, who writes books in everyday English, and he writes books for the 991 Alpha and for the ICOM 7300 and the FTDX10 and the other ICOM radios, and it's very helpful because he tells you how he set up his radio, and usually those parameters work on everybody's radio. So I'm going to do an open book transmission. Looks like 20 minutes he was playing, and it was about 32. It didn't say anything about snow, but I guess that'd be pretty close time to look at it. My son came over today with a buddy, and they put up my Christmas tree, and it's very tall. It's probably 10 or 12 feet tall. We got a big room to put the tree in. It has LED lights already installed on it, so my daughter's going to come over this week and go decorate the Christmas tree here. So I'll just be very nice, and this is not my favorite thing, but I will accommodate her. So, Tom, over to you. WA4FJQ N4AK.
WA4FJQ, you're up, W4MEC.
Okay, N4AK, this is WA4FJQ. Sorry, Charlie, that you had to wake me up, but I can't copy Glenn. He was doing fine and then just drifted off into the noise. But at any rate, this is Tom in High Point, and the rig here is AF68 feeding a signal over to the Centurion amp and receiving on a 75 S3C Collins. But yeah, I was in kind of a panic mode there when I first checked in. I was working on the trying to get the rig tuned up and couldn't make it work. Thought my antenna had come down, went out and looked outside, and it was still up, and just finally realized that one of the push buttons on the tuner had somehow gotten pushed the wrong way. So I guess we're back on the air. But everybody's signal is really good except Glenn. But I copy everybody at least S9, and most folks are 5 and 10 over. I'd say the audio on the two ART-13s, Cliff and Buddy, is just fabulously good. I mean, it's just like they're sitting right here in the shack. It's pretty amazing to me to hear how good that audio can be. And that's about all I've got, so I'm going to turn it back up to Charlie. N4 MEC, this is WA4FJQ.
Okay, Tom, WA4FJQ, and the old friends, W4MEC. Any others like to join us? Come now. I didn't hear anything. It's W4MEC and the old friends. Real good round. Boone checked out that time. And I agree with Glenn, Dennis, in relation to your signal. That loop antenna was S9 plus, and whenever you went over to whatever the other one was, it was less than S6 with QSB. So that one was working for me a heck of a lot better. So anyway, let's see. I was reading, just looking at a thing about a 6.8 magnitude quake near Adak, Alaska. I guess under the sea there, but they said the depth was 30 miles, and I thought the crust was only 22 miles thick, and after that it was mantle there, mostly molten rock. So I wonder if it's different in different places there. I would think you would have an earthquake if the ground was molten, but who knows? Let's see, what else? Cake. The cake was excellent there, Dennis. The apple cake was very good. We enjoyed that immensely. We had to take it in little slices there. We gave some to my son and daughter-in-law to let them enjoy it. And the wife and I did Thanksgiving this last Friday. Of course, Matt was gone, and Nikki, when his wife, our daughter-in-law, when she went down to Atlanta with the two grands to go visit, they had pizza for Thanksgiving. So my wife said this was when we went to John's to eat. She realized it was the first time in basically her entire life that she never made Thanksgiving dinner. So she said, I can't have that. So Thursday and Friday we were cooking and making apple pies and pumpkin pies and doing all kinds of stuff. And we had a great big meal on Friday with everybody. So we had an official Thanksgiving a week and one day late. But it tasted just as good. So that was, the plan worked out well. Let's see, got anything else here? Not right at this time. And back to Steve. And it's a smoking rig. That's interesting that you found nothing, but maybe it was just a power resistor that heated up for an instant there and then slacked off. I've had them do that. And maybe they get a little crispy or maybe a little dark, and then you can go read them with a meter and you find out they've changed value on you. But I've seen stuff like that, smoke for a minute and then quit. So who knows? N4LQ in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, W4MEC, N4LQ, and a little QRM. Somebody's playing around tuning up there, just a KC or so up from us, making it hard to copy. But with AM, that is a problem. Get a big heterodyne, and I don't have anything to notch it out with on this HQ110. I guess I could have with the SDR rig. So, well, the band is definitely up and down. You kind of faded down on me there, Charlie, and Glenn did too. And I think with Dennis's situation there, it's a little confusing, I think, as to which antenna he was on. And I think he was on something other than the loop. like a dipole, and he switched over to the loop for just long enough to get the report from me and Glenn that he was weak, and then he said he had to adjust his tuner, and then he switched back immediately to the first antenna, and then some people were saying, "Oh, you're better now on that antenna." So it got kind of muddled up there, I think. So you're gonna have to, Dennis, if you want to run that test again and get a report, you're gonna have to say who you want the report from. Otherwise, you're gonna get 10 heterodynes all at once. So, let's see here. I don't have anything else famous to say here. It is 59 degrees, and we're supposed to get about a 1/4 inch of rain tonight, and then it looks like Tuesday and Wednesday another 1.5 inches or so. So it's going to be a nice wet week. Looking forward to Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock here on the same frequency, net time 8 o'clock, and every night at 8 p.m. on 160 on 1864, if you can make it. We're running low up check-ins, so if you can find some time, come down there and join us. So with that, I'll go ahead and let this smoky T150 rest. I did see one resistor that looked a little tired, and I think it got hot, but I'm not sure why. But it just, you know how the color code was no longer a color code, but I think it's okay. The value was okay, and I'll leave it out of the cabinet here for a while. Keep an eye on it. Radios sometimes look better out of the cabinet anyway, I think. So Dennis, K8NEE, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, Kilo 8, November, Echo, Echo. Okay, I've been fiddling around with the power here. I'm on the loop right now. I'm on the loop, and best as I can tell, I'm running about 150 watts. So I'm hoping that this sounds better than the Wyndham did. You guys all sound better to me on the loop and that's everybody universally. So just y'all sound crisper. The loop is a lot quieter than that Wyndham. So anyway, let me ask you, Steve, because I'll tell you honestly, I'm hearing you the best of everybody that's still here, Roger. So how does this sound?
Well, it's real strong. S9 plus about 15. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, that's what you're hitting me with, and looking at the guest meter right now, I'm about 125 to 150 watts. So I know I'm right in the envelope where I need to be, and I'll probably, when I come back here on AM, this is probably the settings I'll use in probably this loop. Charlie, how do I sound to you? You actually, Charlie, are the softest to me, Roger.
Okay, well, you're S9 plus, not quite as much as Steve, but you're over S9 on the meter here, so doing real good. Go ahead.
Roger, yeah. See, you're hitting me about S9 and 15, so that's good. How about you, Cliff? What does this sound like?
You're way above where you were at, Dennis. You're on this Drake meter about 30 over, and you were S7 to S9 on the other antenna. Big difference.
Yeah, that's really interesting because you're hitting me about 30 over too. Okay, I'm gonna give it a. I'm sorry, guys, I'm a little fuddled up here. WB4 ARK from Kilo 8, November, Echo, Echo.
Kilo 8 NEE WB4 ARK. So the name here is Buddy, and I'm in Lake Wiley, South Carolina. I'm not sure where you are, Dennis. I don't think you gave us a location, but your signal is quite strong, with a little bit of QSB, as there is on Glenn's signal. I almost lost Glenn on that last transmission. and Charlie's got a little QSB on his signal, but Cliff doesn't. So anyhow, that's the story of the QSB. Thanks, Charlie, for calling the net today, and we'll say 73, and hope everybody has a great upcoming week. So with that, over to F2U, WF2U. This is WB4ARK.
Yeah, Roger, buddy. WB4ARK and the group, WF2U. Great, good copy on everyone, and nice compact net today. Yeah, I wonder where everybody is, but anyway, so mentioning the luncheon, I enjoyed it, and that was a pretty decent size tailgating session there that was going on. So thanks, Charlie, for running the net, and of course I appreciate everybody who checked in. The more the merrier, and have a good afternoon, everybody. Have a good week. Keep dry the next few days, and I usually don't have time to get on the midweek nets, but we'll be here Saturday. So 73 all, have a good afternoon, and it goes to Cliff. I'll be saying 73, but I'll be listening to the end of the net. WB4NKL, this is WF2U 73 all.
Okay, Mayor, WF2U, it's WB4NKL. A good copy all the way around again. Signals are pretty decent here. Missed Dave LLR today. He lost his antenna there. I believe it was Thursday. He sent me a message that he lost his antenna in the windstorm. So he maybe hasn't got that back up yet, but either that or something else is going on. Kind of miss him there with the history report. Steve, it's been a little too cold to get out here on 160 at night. Tonight would be fine, but we're having some company there for dinner, and I don't know what time, if I'll be able to get out here before 8 or not. Maybe. But it's supposed to be warmer, I think, the rest of the week, so I'll be catching you there on 160 some more. Let's see, I guess that's about it here, so I'm going to say 73s too, and enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Charlie, and I'll send it on to Glenn, N4AK, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL in the group, N4AK. Boy, I'm showing high SWR, so something's changed. But anyway, Dennis, on the Wyndham, you're running 8 over S8. On the loop, you're running 15 over 9 in Sunset. And so that's the antenna for you to use. I'll pass along my 7.3s. Thanks very much, Charlie, for you running the net for us. And Tom, over to you. WA4FJQ, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
November 4 Alpha Kilo, WA4FJQ. Okay, thanks, Glenn. Coverage you find that time. QSB is definitely there, but everybody is really coming in very well today here in High Point. I usually have the worst time trying to pick up some of the stations with this noisy QTH, but everybody sounds really good today. So that's about all I've got. So I'm going to say 73s. Thanks, Charlie, for calling the net, and we'll turn it back up to you. W4MEC, this is WA4FJQ, off and clear.
Very good, Tom. WA4FJQ in the group, W4MEC. Well, everybody officially checked out except Steve and Dennis, so we'll do a mini 73 round here, and I'll close the net down. But thanks for everybody that did check in today. So we'll look for you on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So over to Steve and Dennis, and we can shut her down. N4LQ in the group W4MEC.
All right. This is N4LQ, and I will officially check out. And just want to tell Cliff that he's going to have to buy one of those heated coats or jackets. I just heard somebody the other day talking about how they had one of those heated jackets. I think they run on a lithium battery. So check it out. Anyway, 73s, and over to Dennis, who will, I guess, give his 73s, and then back to Charlie, K8NEE, N4LQ.
N4LQ and what's left of the group. 73. Thank you, Charlie, for calling the net. I really enjoyed being on AM for the first time. I think I got it worked out. I think, in my opinion, the loop is very definitely the antenna I need to be on. Steve, I won't see you on 160 tonight. I'll spend some time with the boss lady because I was in the shack all day today misbehaving. I did break out the Christmas trees and all the stuff, so I did do that, and I was a good boy there, but I misbehaved and started playing radio, and you know what happens when that starts, especially in the winter with me. If I'm sitting here in the shack, I'm throwing sticks in the stove and playing radio. So anyway, thanks again, Charlie, for calling the net. I've enjoyed being with you guys, as I always do, and 7-3.
Very good, Dennis. N-K-A-N-E-E, W4MEC, and the old friends. Yeah, well, Cliff, if you're still listening, you might be able to find a surplus World War II flight suit that plugs into that 28-volt regulator. You can still find those, too. and stay warm with while you're operating the ART-13, just like they did back in the day. So thanks for everybody that checked in the net. We'll see you on Tuesday. Y'all have a good rest of the day here. It's W4MEC, shutting down the old friends net. Bye-bye.
7-3, guys.